Oh, recording. So you're hitting record. Okay, we're rolling. Here, give me your coffee really quick. Set this. Okay, we still, as high tech as this is, we have to do an old fashioned marker. Ready, mark? There we go. As if you needed a reason to feel nerdier. Here we are.
I definitely do feel a little embarrassed, but I'm going to get over it.
Well, say more about that. Do you feel ridiculous that we are holding cameras on ourselves? And
I feel like we're influencers. Wannabe influencers.
Well, yes.
We'd be the only documentary influencers.
I think wannabe is the key word here. Well, welcome to Dog Walks, Luke. Thank you for going on a walk with me this morning.
I don't know if I had come if I knew I had to film myself, but we're here.
On your left.
You're listening to Doc Walks with Ben and Keith.
Well, I know that we're used to being on the other side of the camera,
Yeah.
so being in front of it is a little awkward.
Yeah.
But that's also kind of what this is about, is like talking to the people behind the camera about why they do what they do. So let me introduce you to our friends listening who may not have heard of you and your work. You made the documentary DEALT, which premiered at South by in 2017.
Yes.
Is that right?
Yeah.
And that was about a blind magician, a blind magician named Richard Turner.
Yep.
And that won the South by Audience Award, right?
It did. It did.
It's a great movie. I love that film. And was that your first feature?
No, I made one before that in 2014 or 13, which was my first feature. I had never made anything longer than 5 minutes, and then I took on a feature. So it took me 4 years to get done, my first one.
Good for you.
And it was in England, so it was...
Wow.
Not many people have seen it, but whatever.
Is that right? Because my understanding of that movie is different. That actually that was like your hit, and that actually is what a lot of people saw.
Lord Montagu.
Oh, sorry, your first feature.
Yeah,
I'm sorry. I thought
DEALT
we were
was
talking
like
about
my
DEALT.
calling card, but Lord Montagu was a film basically for British audiences about a fascinating story, but UK based, so no one in America has really watched it.
Gotcha. Okay, and what is that one about? Lord Montagu.
When I was doing commercial advertising for this pretty big company at a college, and I'm just trying to make it, and one day the chairman came to me and said, "Hey, I'll give you $50,000 to interview my uncle who lives in a castle." And he goes, "Think about it overnight," and walked off.
And you were like, 50,000?
Oh yeah, I was like, this sounds amazing. So I got a few guys, and we just flew over and interviewed this man. His story happened to be, he's the youngest member of parliament at age 2. I mean, his story is wild and fascinating and pretty awesome. I made a film about him, and it took a long time because, again, I never made anything.
Right.
So
okay. So Lord Montagu was your first feature. DEALT was your second, and then
DEALT.
after DEALT, you went to Action.
yeah, I did a series for Showtime.
Yep.
Yeah.
Which was about professional gamblers.
Yeah, legalization of gambling, which has now become a problem for us in America, as you've seen by the headlines lately. I don't know if you've seen all the...
Oh no, I haven't been tracking it. Besides like gambling addiction, or what do you mean?
Because gambling is so prolific now, games are being tampered with. NBA just had a scandal.
Oh, you're talking
MLB.
about, oh yes, the NBA scandal.
Yeah.
Yes.
There was just one the other day for MLB, so...
Oh my God.
Anyway, but yeah, I did a series for Showtime, and then did a feature, MILLI VANILLI, a music documentary for Paramount, and then I did a thing for New York Times, FX, New York Times Presents.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. And was it the New York Times one and MILLI VANILLI, weren't they both nominated for an Emmy?
So the New York Times one won an Emmy. Yeah, I got.
Hey,
so I
won an Emmy.
I
Look
won.
at you, Emmy award-winning director Luke Korem.
Yeah, it was pretty wild. Was not expecting that. So we won for outstanding journalism. MILLI VANILLI won a bunch of stuff, but not Emmy. It got like there's a thing in the UK called Grierson, which is like their big doc awards.
Yeah.
So it won Best Music Doc, IDA nominated. It won some stuff.
That's
So
awesome,
it did
man.
good. Yeah.
Wow. So you are award-winning, celebrated documentary filmmaker.
Yeah.
I love that you laugh at that. Because you are, it's true. I know you as a very successful filmmaker here in Austin.
Well, thank you.
And have always really admired your work. And so I want to go back to what you said. You said that you, out of college, were doing advertising work or like
You know,
making
I just
ads?
knew I wanted to make films. My parents told me not to go to film school. I went to Texas A&M because my brother was playing football there. I met my wife, so it all worked out. But I knew I wanted to do film. I didn't go to school for it. So
were you one of those kids that like had a camera from an early age?
I had a
and
Sony Vaio. It was one of the first like editing platforms in a, Panasonic HVX or whatever and all that stuff.
Yeah.
I was just making stuff every day.
So okay, so you were one of those kids. Like you got your friends together and you guys were like remaking, you know, films that you were watching on TV or something like.
Yeah. Actually, the first. What's funny is the first thing I did was in high school. Got me into is we had this morning television show. I don't know if some of y'all had this in high school, but like you had like a TV show.
Yeah.
Like where it'd give you like a news report of like what's going on at school.
Right.
And I was like an anchor. And it was like, good morning, Berkner High School, blah, blah, blah. And then I started directing the shows and then I started putting things on there that had nothing to do with school and I got suspended a couple times, but it was really fun.
You got suspended for what you would put on?
Yeah, because I would make videos that had nothing to do with school and I wouldn't tell my teacher and I'd put it onto the broadcast. I got suspended so many times.
And were they bad? Were they like about,
No,
like
just like
smoking?
I would
or,
literally
like,
get
how
my
to cut
friends
class?
together and we make like a music video. Or we do a spoof on the Matrix. And my teacher would be like, what is that? That has nothing to do with school. And then she would suspend me and then.
And where is this? Where did you grow up?
Richardson, it's a suburb of Dallas.
I know Richardson. My business partner Barrett is from there.
Yeah.
Actually, lots of directors are from there. David Gordon Green.
David Gordon
grew
Green.
up in Richardson.
Probably the most famous, yeah.
There's a guy named, what is his name? He runs Smuggler, Brian Belitek. He's a very, very successful commercial director who grew up in Richardson.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it seems like there was something in the water there in Richardson.
I don't know. Maybe. Never heard that before. Being generous.
Well, so then you have this like predilection to make movies from an early age, and your parents are against it. They're like, don't do this, please.
They didn't think it was gonna be a career. So I mean they liked it and stuff, but I think when I graduated college, I just started doing like anything that would make me money in video.
Yeah.
I did local commercials. I mean, I was doing anything you could think of.
Yeah.
And then I was just hustling and I got this contract with this company that before they went public and I did all of their internal videos. And then that chairman one day said, I have an uncle who lives in a castle. And that's how I made my first feature.
Okay.
I mean, it took a long, I had to convince him
Right.
that it's a documentary. And he was like, well, have you made one? I was like, no, but let me get my friends who also haven't made one and we'll go make one. And
between the four of us, we will be one documentary filmmaker.
yeah, so it was great. It was a great learning experience. And
But isn't that like, when I look back on, because I made a lot of short films before, short documentaries before I made Winnebago Man. And when I think back on all the challenges of that movie, I'm so glad that I didn't know how hard it was going to be, because it was so hard. And if I had known going into it like why it would be so difficult, I don't know, I was young, I probably would have done it anyway, but like, as an old man now looking back, I'm like, oh, thank goodness
well, I think we do that to ourselves over and over again, though. It's like giving birth. Like women are like, forget how bad the pain was and they do it again.
Right.
So I think we do that with movies.
It's biology's way of tricking you into
you just think, but I think where you make yourself not go insane is you gotta learn and not only make it better the next time, but make it better for yourself.
Right.
How do you hide? Like my first one, I was editing it too.
Yeah.
Right. I was doing all this stuff. And then the next one I delegated more. And then the next one delegated even more. And now all I do is direct.
Right.
And produce. But
you don't shoot.
I don't touch the editing keyboard.
Yeah.
I don't touch the camera, like none of that.
Yes. And let's talk about where we are right now. We are walking over this beautiful footbridge here. And I guess listening to like electronica at the same time. There's some very loud music playing. There's joggers jogging all around us here. And yeah, it is an absolutely gorgeous morning here in Austin, Texas in mid-November.
You getting the hang of this thing?
Yeah, it's pretty
awesome.
It's pretty cool, right? Oh, this guy. What are we? Oh, get it, get it, get it. You are officially the first guest that has danced on the podcast. Congratulations.
There we go.
You want to be on the left now? Or do you want to, here, let's switch back. I'll get on. I'll get on the right.
Okay.
What do you think that guy's trying to accomplish back there? Like, if you had to guess, what's his story? Why would you bring a humongous speaker down to the trail
I don't know. We should
and
ask him.
blast it for passers?
We should ask him. I don't know.
I'll take a guess.
Okay.
My guess would be that's his music that he's created, and he's coming down to like share it. Like that's a modern version of a guy with an acoustic guitar.
That's a great guess. That's a great guess. If he's still here on our way back, we should ask him.
We should.
I'll be impressed if that's his music. It'd be great.
Well, I think I always do you do this as a documentary filmmaker? I love playing the game of like looking around a restaurant or a coffee shop and being like, I don't know what that guy's name is. What is his job? Like, what does he do for a living? I've played that game for as long as I can remember. Like, even when I was little, I kind of always like to, you know, guess about like what people's backstories are.
Well, that's what makes you a documentary filmmaker.
Do you have
Or just a
filmmaker?
You got to be just curious, right? You just got to
Yeah.
be curious about what makes someone tick and why they got to where they are,
Right.
And where they're going and why they want to do that.
Yeah. And I think for me personally, a lot of the time, I'm not sure why I'm doing what I'm doing. So I'm always really curious to like find out why other people are also doing the things they're doing. Like as I get older, you know, and I have 2 kids. I know you have 2 kids. We were talking about it before we started recording. But yeah, you know, you get older, you have kids, you start thinking about money and savings and stuff like that. And I'm always like, why wasn't I thinking about money and savings when I had so many opportunities to make so many other choices that would have led to more money and savings?
Yeah.
But I have come to realize the older I get that like, I don't think that way.
Yeah.
Like you can't make yourself think that way if it doesn't occur to you to think that way.
Well,
right?
if you're not authentic to yourself, you're just gonna. The industry is already hard as it is. So if you just decide to go against what makes you you, you're gonna be miserable.
Right.
So maybe you could, like, there's projects we've all had offered to us where you could make more money, but you know, like, oh my God, that is just gonna be awful,
Right.
and there's no way to make it great, and you just feel like this is wrong. Right? And your choice is do it, which means you're gonna have to not do other things,
Right.
and maybe you'll make more money, you know? And one time I actually was approached about something, and I knew it was gonna probably be problematic, but they were paying me well, and it ended up terrible. So it's just like, what? Why do that? You know, like you know.
Yeah, I've definitely had a few of those, and I have said yes to a lot of those too. And
Sometimes you have to, I guess.
it is interesting though. You're right. Like if it's, you know, you can kind of feel it in your gut. Like, is this for the right reasons? And am I going to enjoy this? And can I work with my friends and make it the way that I know how to do? Or am I going to like have to do it in some inauthentic way?
I guess something I'm not good at is lowering my bar. I always want it to be great, exceed expectations.
Yeah.
And that's just not realistic with some projects.
Right.
And I'm not very good in those situations. So like, I think that's why I found there's 2 projects I'm thinking in my mind. Like I said yes, I did them. And it was just, because the whole time in my mind, I'm like, it could be better, but I'm not allowed to do X, Y, Z.
Right.
Right? And because
right.
it's, you know, I'm working for another company.
Yeah.
It's not my own company doing, so
Right.
I have a hard
speaking
time
of that,
lowering that.
You have your own company, right?
Right.
It's called Keep On Running.
Keep on running, yeah.
Yeah. And what was the decision to start your own company, and like how does that work?
Well, I started it. That was that first documentary I did. It was called, I had another name at the time, but I mean, I'm part of my forte, I guess, is producing. I'm good at raising money, getting people to buy into an idea. And so naturally, if you have that ability, why do it for someone else?
Right.
Right.
Man, that's amazing you have that ability. That's the one thing that I've always, well, struggle with lots of things, but that's one of the major ones. Like, I have such a hard time raising money for projects.
And I don't say that like boastfully. It's more, it's like I have another friend, Bradley Jackson, actually, who's like, you know, your superpower is getting people to say yes, you know, and like,
Yeah.
and I'm like, you know, if you have something you're good at, you got to lean into it.
Right.
And so for me, it's like, I know I can sell people on a vision and an idea. And that's why I started my company. And
When did you
Yeah.
know that? Like, how did that
I
come
grew up in an entrepreneurial family. Both my parents started their companies from the ground up. You know, went from literally just completely broke. I saw my parents just, you know, completely broke to making money. And I guess that would naturally just stayed with me. And
Yeah.
I was always a bit of a, we were filming ourselves. It's kind of weird. Yeah, so we're filming. So yeah, it was just something that was like ingrained in me. I don't know. And then I realized, oh, I as a director, I can sell it to my crew, but almost equally as important, I can sell it in a room.
Man, that is a
You know.
huge skill to have. And what did your parents do? Like, were they also in some type of like sales or needing to like?
My mom
convince
created a
people?
food industry, food service company that in Dallas started in our kitchen and then grew to, I mean, she's done stuff for like, you know, former presidents and
Oh, wow.
players and
Is it
all sorts of stuff.
Is it catering or what?
So she did catering for many years, huge events and weddings, and then she transitioned into, she has like several storefronts
Okay.
throughout the Dallas Metroplex that are like gourmet to go shops. It's
Oh,
called the
wow.
Festive Kitchen. And
Cool.
so, yeah. And then my dad is a author and
Really?
yeah, and he writes books on like behavioral profiling and like, he actually did a documentary before I was born, and it's actually, it's good. It's good.
That sounds vaguely like police related, behavioral profiling. What does that mean?
It's basically just like you can talk with someone and be able to read like,
Oh.
are they, their tendencies, their strengths, their weaknesses.
So is this like a how to win friends and influence people
Kind of thing.
type?
Yeah.
Like, okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
That's
So-
cool. Well, yeah, having those two as an example is kind of perfect for a documentary filmmaker. Like, you got this sort of like creative, almost like art design or art direction sort of gene from your mom, it sounds like.
Yeah.
Right? Like the taste part
Yeah.
and the entrepreneurial sort of salesman gene from your dad.
Yeah, my dad also made his living as a magician when I was a kid. My
No
dad,
way.
you should do it.
Wait a
You
minute,
should do
wait
a
a minute.
doc talk with my dad, because that's more interesting probably.
Wait, your dad was also a magician?
Yeah, he performed. That's how I met the blind magician Richard Turner I did the documentary about.
Yeah.
My dad traveled the world doing that and performed in this thing called the Magic Castle in Los Angeles.
Of
And
course, I know the Magic Castle. I actually went one time, and for anybody listening who knows the Magic Castle, I hope that's impressive because it was very hard to get tickets.
yeah, did
to
you
the
see
Magic
Richard
Castle.
there? Or was it not, he wasn't there that night?
This would have been 2012, 2013.
Okay.
So I don't remember seeing him there, but oh my gosh, it was a blast. That was
It's
so
a great
much fun.
place. It's a great place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So so your dad's a magician and an author.
My dad's like
And
a jack of all trades, yeah. So
so growing up, did you understand that that was like unusual, or was that just more like, oh, that's everybody's?
as I got older, I
Parents are
realized
magicians.
this was unusual. Not when I was little.
Right.
When you're little, it's cool, and then you get older, and like, it's still cool, but it's like that's different, right? That my mom, especially
not everybody's parents can.
not everybody's parents like start their own companies, both of them, you know. So
Right.
I don't know. I think that that bug is always stuck with me, is how to build something. And every film, people on the outside of the film industry always like have a hard time grasping what we do, right?
Yeah.
And what I describe it as every single project is like its own little startup.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like
exactly
starting
what it is.
a business every time.
There's no predicting if it'll be a success.
Yep.
It doesn't matter upon what you did before
Right.
or what you do after.
Yep.
And it's new every time. And you're with new people,
Yep.
a new story, new set of circumstances every single time. And, you know, that's what we live in, you know?
Yeah. So do you think of yourself primarily as a documentary director, or are you more a filmmaker who has made documentaries but might also go on to make narrative films?
It's a great question. So when I first started doing documentaries, I remember someone connected me with like some older filmmaker people. I can't remember who. I was like, you should ask them for advice. And it's like, yeah, it's a great idea. I remember getting on the phone with this guy. And I was like, I had this opportunity, or I think I can make a documentary. You know, I've never made anything before, and this is like this thing in England, right?
Yeah.
And it's like, I think I can convince him to do this, and I can make a documentary. And he said, don't make a documentary. It will ruin your career. And I was like,
that might be the title of our episode. Don't make a documentary, it will ruin your career, with Luke Korem.
And I was like, I just listened to it and I thought, why is he telling me that? And you know what's funny is, fast forward, docs are cool now.
Right.
And then he was like, because it's a niche thing, and you're gonna be pigeonholed and da 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 da. And it's like, my whole thing has always been, I want to tell stories.
Right.
And I just felt like this was an opportunity to make a story.
Yeah.
To tell a story, so I'm gonna do it. So to answer your question, I actually just, in the last year, my company got the rights to a story that was formerly set up at Imagine Entertainment, and where I'd pitched them on a project actually.
Oh, cool.
And they bit, but then it kind of just like fell in development hell. And so I got some investors together and we got it, and then I actually just wrote the first draft, and I'm about to collaborate with another screenwriter on the next draft. So I'm working on scripted stuff, but it's not like something where I have to make a movie. If a story speaks to me, it doesn't really matter the genre, you know?
Right. Right.
You just don't.
Storytelling is storytelling.
Yeah, and it's actually the same muscle. You know, I remember a great piece of advice I got was Greg Whiteley. He created Cheer and Last Chance U and all that stuff. I remember I had just sold a series to Showtime. It's this 4-part series called Action. And I was just like, you know, I've done 2 features, but not a series. And I got his number from someone and I called him, and he was really kind, you know, picked up, gave me, and his advice.
He picked up a cold call.
Yeah, and we talked, and his advice was that he's like, I was told this information and I think it's held true. He's like, it's the same muscle. Just remember that. It is the same muscle. And that really, I cling to that. And because it's like, yeah, I don't really know how this is all going to turn out, but like, I know how to tell a story. So it's the same muscle.
Yeah.
Format's a little different.
Yeah.
It's actually easier, quite frankly. Series is easier than feature. And I was like, cling to that. So when you look at scripted, what I've looked at is like, I found a true life story. I know how to do that. So I went out and interviewed everybody in the true life story, and then I'm taking that and adapting it and using it.
For the narrative
For the
feature,
scripted narrative
version.
Wow. It's the same muscle.
Right.
You know, it's like in an edit in a documentary. How do I get from this act to this act? Well, you gotta get clever with it.
Right.
Right. So it's like, it's the same thing in scripted. It's the exact same thing, unless you're just creating a fantasy, which that's not something I know how to do yet.
Yeah.
But like, if you're just creating it from characters out of thin air, that's a whole other ball of wax. But if it's based on true life story, it's really kind of the same muscle.
Yeah.
You know.
That's so cool. I've never thought of it like that. Why did you say that making a series is easier than a feature, you think?
So when I made MILLI VANILLI, I hired this guy, Pat Barry, incredible editor. And we worked together on Action. He was the lead editor. We met on that. And I remember when we started, he was like, I was like, now, do you have any questions? I know making a feature is different. He's like, what are you talking about? He's like, I've edited at this point he had edited 8 series or something ridiculous.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, I'm just letting you know, it's probably gonna take us about a year by the time you start that edit. And he was like, I'll have it done in 6 months tops, 4 months. And at the end,
I love this guy.
Oh, he was great. At the end, he realized, it didn't, it turned out about a year. He said, what I realize now is when someone says, oh, I can do a feature because I've done a series, that's like saying I can run a marathon because I've run 7 5Ks or whatever.
Right. Okay.
It's like, no.
Yeah.
Because a series, it's in spurts. You don't, the end of episode 1, you can start with a cold open on episode 2.
Right. And reset.
Reset.
Yeah.
Transition, change pace, change tone, you can change the way you're filming it. And people like that, actually.
Yeah.
You do that in a feature, people are like, what just happened? Right?
Right.
Where did the story go?
Right.
You know?
Right. Interesting.
So it's like sprinting versus running a marathon.
I like that analogy. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Huh. So which one do you think you like better?
I don't, you know?
You like them both the same.
Mm-hmm.
The running is running.
Yeah, it's just telling a story, you know? It's like what excites you. It doesn't really matter the format. I think it's nice to do different things, like not keep doing the same thing back to back. That can be tiresome, I think.
Yeah. Well, that is one thing that I'm really curious about. You know, like at this point in my career, I've made 3 features. I've made 3 TV series, done a ton of commercials, a bunch of shorts, music videos. I'm doing this podcast. And I find that I'm always wanting to like find a new challenge a little bit. And I have trouble always keeping like gas in the tank to go like make another feature documentary, for example. So I'm wondering, like, how do you do that? How do you keep your, oh, you want to throw your coffee away, by the way? And we're going across the pedestrian bridge here. This is like my favorite, or one of my favorite views in town, is this little moment right here where we like come out of the trees.
And this is where the bats come out. Millions of bats.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you can see the nest. And like you come out of the trees and then whoa, the reveal of downtown right here is so nice.
And then I think over here is where Matthew McConaughey lives.
Oh, show me.
I don't know, I'm just kidding. But there's normally like amazing houses, perched up there.
Yeah. Yeah, right on the water like that. Can you imagine having like a boat slip in your backyard? That would be so
just
cool.
100 more documentaries and I'll be there.
See, you are a true documentarian to think that making documentaries can get you there, you know? Like,
Well, look, I will say this. People say you don't make documentaries to get rich.
yeah.
True, but there are a lot of rich people making documentaries. So
That
how
is
does that
true.
work?
That is true. We are living in this funny age where like Colin Hanks is making the John Candy
No,
doc.
but I mean like there's production companies taking all the spoils,
Oh, I see. Okay.
sitting on their perch.
Right.
I could get off on that, but I've worked
Right.
with so many people that like pay everybody beans.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's like, well, why? The budget is X.
Right.
Well, because it's $50,000 for parking.
Right. Because the production company has got to
Just
take
eat,
their,
they just eat.
their cut.
They just eat.
Yeah, that's
Anyway.
true. Well, we were talking about how you keep gas in the tank for new projects. Like, what is it that makes you go out and find the new thing and keep going?
Keep on running.
Yeah, keep on running.
One, find a story that keeps you up at night. Because when you get in it, you're gonna have to have that fire to keep going to finish that project. And if you're just halfway in, you're asking for trouble, you know?
Yeah.
So it's gotta be something you're really passionate about. And if it's not, then just set your expectations way low. Because you have to be all in as the director, right?
Right.
If you're not, the project's gonna follow suit. The other thing, I mean, for me, like I pray a lot, you know, and that's something where like I use like a guiding light where it's like, should I do something, or like, can I, you know, just give me strength to keep going, you know, like,
Yeah.
and
So
you
do
know.
you? I love that answer. Do you find that documentary has a spiritual component in it for you?
It's a good question. It's just life, you know. Life has a spiritual component to it. And when you're, especially when you're talking to people and you're trying to tell their, like, I like character-driven stories like you, right?
Yeah.
So if you're not doing like climate change or whatever, which is, you know, it's that's a different genre. But if you're doing
Right.
character driven, there's that soul in that person,
Right.
right? And like, you got to have empathy, and you got to like, you're not trying to use them to get their story. Like, you're trying to like help them, and like at the same time help get the story out of them and go places that maybe they don't want to go. And
Right.
that's definitely heavy.
Do you think of it like you are giving people an opportunity to show their best selves? And I'm asking you a leading question because I think that way. I'm like, if I make this film about you, and this is subject dependent, of course,
Yeah.
but a lot of times I'm attracted to people where I'm like, oh, you haven't gotten the respect you deserve, or I want to show people how great or how interesting or how like unique I think you and your story are.
Yeah.
And I'm almost thinking of it as like giving them the trophy case.
Their flowers.
And they're the
Yeah.
trophy. Yeah, giving them their flowers, yeah.
I think it's that plus showing the lows and their flaws.
Yes.
Because it's easy
Yeah.
to get someone to talk about how great they are or show you their skills, whatever, but it's only great if you can show the flaws and their blind spots.
Right.
That's where it's difficult. You know, like I remember Delt when I made that one. That was hard because Richard, okay, so for people listening, he's known as the greatest card magician in the world, and he's blind.
Which is, that right there is amazing. It sounds like an onion headline.
Well, that's how it was easy to make. Because I
Yeah.
pitched people on money. I was like, "There's the log line. Either do you want to see it or not?" You know.
Right.
But like, you could just do a thing where it was like, "This guy is a badass," and he
Yeah.
is. He's also 6th degree black belt martial arts. I mean,
Wow.
he is awesome. But that's not a great story.
Yeah. Just talking about the awesome. Like you got to have the highs and the
that's
lows.
10 minutes.
Yeah.
That's 15 minutes. But
So
it's-
then what did the story become? Like how did you find the warts, or how did you figure out like how to focus on things that aren't so great?
just spending a lot of time with him and his family, and then listening, constantly listening to realize what I thought was the story was actually just the hook, right?
Interesting.
And the
Yeah.
actual story was him coming to terms with embracing your weakness,
Huh.
right? So his whole
Yeah.
life, it was like he always had people look at him a certain way. And he wasn't blind his whole life, so he lost his sight over time. So he remembers the looks and the feeling. And anytime he do a great card trick, someone would say, "Oh yeah," and he's blind, and constant.
Right.
And
Whereas
then,
he just wanted it to be a good card trick.
yeah, and then that defense mechanism creeps up, and then it just becomes about just ignoring the fact that you are blind. And it's just like, I have no weakness in me. And that's something we all deal with. It's like, what is your weakness? Don't run from it, embrace it. And that's like so hard to do, right?
Right.
It's a lifelong experience.
Yeah.
But it's like that. Like in every story, it's like, what's your hook? Great. But really, what's the story? It's like you watch a great movie, like a Nolan movie or something, where it's like, has all of these metaphors and analogies that are just like, whoa. It's
Yeah.
so much deeper than like the trailer.
The thing it's supposed,
Yeah.
it's ostensibly about on the surface.
Yeah.
Well, don't you find that when you make documentaries that in a way the subjects are usually something that you're wrestling with in your own life? Like I definitely have found that for me. Like when I made Chop and Steal, for example, it's about two friends running a company together and the decision of like, are we better together or apart? And I run a company with my best friend, and I was definitely like thinking all these thoughts, but without really
Fascinating.
realizing that's what I was doing.
No, I mean that might be a unique experience you had. Not really.
So you don't think that there was maybe something in Richard, like,
Well, sure,
in
that
in what you said,
overall
like
that
the-
overall sentiment, but I think of other things I've done, and it's like I did a thing about MILLI VANILLI, and it's a guy who everybody thinks these guys are talentless hacks when really they were conned.
right?
And it was the being used and chewed up by the industry and losing a best friend because of fame. And I don't know anything about this.
Yeah, right.
It has
Interesting.
nothing to do with me.
Yeah,
I try and put myself in their shoes, but it's like,
but it's not like you're working through something yourself while you're doing
No.
it. Yeah,
now those things are great though, like when you have a personal connection.
Well, but a lot of time what I was saying is like it was unconscious. A lot of it is unconscious. Like I'm just attracted to a story for a reason that I don't fully understand. And then I realize somewhere in the process, like, oh, I think I wanted to tell this story, or I'm fascinated by this because it's like striking a deeper chord in me than I suspected. And there's something here that like I'm wrestling with personally.
Not for me. I don't know. No, not really.
Yeah. Well, well, that's okay. How did the MILLI Vanilli idea come about?
Like, I was brainstorming ideas with a friend of mine, Bradley Jackson, and talk about MILLI Vanilli. And then, for those who don't know, there are two guys in the 89, 90 that won a Grammy for Best New Artist, and then it was discovered they never sang a single note on their album. And I just came across this video of him singing, and he has this beautiful voice. And I thought, what the heck? I thought they couldn't sing.
Right.
And it just made me go down this rabbit hole and realizing that was it. I just was like, oh, so the story we've been told is not even the story. How did that even happen?
Yeah. Well, back to the brainstorming part, were you and Bradley, were you sort of like thinking through like ideas from your childhood, or like?
No, I think we were just constantly messaging and talking every day, like, what's another good idea? That was literally it.
Yeah.
And
because that is a great idea, you know, and like the 90s are like, you know, kind of culturally fascinating for people right now.
Yeah.
That's was such a big story from our childhood that I'm frankly surprised nobody had ever investigated.
Well, there had been a lot of people that tried. It was, again, it took me like 8 months or 9 months to get the surviving member of Fab Morvan to even contact me back.
Yeah.
Because he'd had so many people.
Right. Oh, interesting.
So
this is fascinating. What were you saying in that initial reach out that piqued his interest?
Writing letters, emails, you know, not constantly, but like once every couple months, you know.
In the letters, would you appeal, like what would you say? You remember?
Well, yeah, I would even talk about like, you know, I mean, I'd done my homework. So it was coming from a place of authenticity. Like I really cared.
Right.
And then it was also like, hey, watch another film I've done, because I know I'm nobody to you. You know, watch this thing I did called, the last one I done feature doc at that time was Delt.
Yeah.
So watch Delt, you know. And if it moves you, you know, hit me back, you know.
Yeah.
And it did.
Wow.
So it just worked, you know.
So do you remember that first phone call when he?
Well, his manager hit me up.
Yeah.
And then was like, we'll be in LA in like a month. I was like, okay, I'll be there too. Even though I live in Austin, right? So.
And so you flew out to LA just to meet with the manager?
Well, yeah, but I'm rep at WME, so they set up a meeting at the agency, at their office, you know.
Okay. So it was legit.
Make it all official.
Yeah.
Hey, we're here. Luke is a real filmmaker. You know, these people don't know you at all. And we just impressed him, and then got him to sign his life rights for a temporary period of time to give me a chance to go make get someone to buy it.
Right.
So, yeah. Yeah.
Well, so what are you working on now?
So there's a project that, so first that screenplay has kept me busy, and I just got the first draft done. So I was flying around interviewing everybody that was involved in the story. And so I got a first draft and I sent it to a couple filmmakers and got feedback, and now I'm gonna go find I love collaboration, so I always knew, especially because it's my first screenplay, I wanna find another great screenwriter, more established, to come in and work with me on subsequent drafts, or at least revisions.
Right.
So I'm in that process right now. And then there's a project that my company and another one went in on and to develop, and we just pitched it. So fingers crossed.
All right. So you've got a scripted narrative and you've got a feature doc.
It's a series, yeah.
Oh, a series. Cool.
Yeah.
Okay. And then what's the pitching process like for you?
Well, that one was with all the, you know, studios. So it was like, you know, your agency sets it up and, you know, get on there with executives, and we cut a sizzle and the deck and the whole bit, you know.
Yeah.
And did the pitches, and I got a few backup plans in mind too, in case it doesn't pan out, because the market is so bad right now. It's so unpredictable as to what's going to happen.
Yes, it
So,
really is.
I've got some other things lined up just in case it doesn't go right now. Which I'll say, you know, it's interesting about, for those of y'all who pitch and you get frustrated, I'll just say this. I remember, okay, these executives have a tough job. They have to tell a lot of people no.
Yes. And they listen to, I'm sure, a lot of good ideas.
A lot of pitches.
Like, I remember I went out with our exec for High Hopes, the Hulu show, and we were having brunch the morning that the show premiered. And, you know, it was fancy. It was like on top of this building where there's a billboard literally for the show on the side of the building. And we were sitting on top of this building.
Oh, that's awesome.
Off Sunset Boulevard, having brunch. And I asked him, I'm like, so how many pitches do you think you hear a day? And he's like, oh, easily 5 or 6. And I was like, and that's times 5 days a week? And he's like, yeah. And I was like, 4 weeks a month. So that's 120 ideas a month times 12. And then I was like, how many do you think you get to greenlight a year? And he was like, oh, maybe, I don't know, somewhere between 6 and 10. And just that right there, I was like, oh, wow. The ratios of like what gets financed and made versus what doesn't are really staggering.
Especially right now, that number is, yeah, that's definitely accurate.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So anyway, sorry, I interrupted you.
No,
that's
that's
you're saying the executives
kind
have
of
a tough
depressing
job.
to know, you know, when you know it.
Yeah.
But it's the truth.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's, whew.
Oh,
I mean,
boy.
right now, too, they're all just leaning on data, and we know that, you know, and they have a tough job, you know, so
Yeah.
it's maddening to an extent when you're like, you know something will work. But there was okay, I'll say this, the MILLI VANILLI documentary that I made, this is when I learned, like, wow, you know, you can't predict who's going to buy anything, right?
Right.
So when we made that, we screened rough cuts of it, and Paramount bought it for a very good sum. Now, we also had someone else, we had a few other people come in, but they put the most money in. And there was this one studio that passed, and we were like, really? We thought it was like, we all thought like, I thought that would be like right up their alley. 6 months later, that studio calls, and you know, it's financed by a company called MRC. So they call MRC and they're like, hey, we want to buy that documentary. And they go, we already sold it when you told us, quote, 90s music docs don't work for us. And they were like, yeah, well, we just had one come out and it really did well, so we want that one. Now, see, that just shows
Nobody knows anything.
no one knows anything.
Yeah.
So it's, you want to get upset, but you can't.
Right. Right.
Right?
Because if you get upset, then you get bitter, and then the bitterness leads to you not doing it anymore, basically.
But at least you can, what I've learned from that is, I know nothing beyond, I'm going to make this thing, I'm fortunate to make it. I have no idea where it's going to go, who's going to buy it, if it's going to be a hit, if it's going to, no one's ever going to see it.
Right.
You have zero control.
Yeah.
And that part has stressed me out in the past, and I've gotten way better about just going like, no control.
No control.
That's okay.
Yeah.
That's okay.
Yeah. And
That's okay.
And that's why I was asking if like storytelling or documentary filmmaking has a spiritual component, because that's a part, like what we do, and I think it's probably true of all the arts or any act of creation, really. I mean, even parenting, it's like you can do your very best and work as hard as possible, and you still don't have control ultimately about like what's going to happen. And I think there's something like profound about that lesson. And for me, I find that when I make documentaries, particularly, the story that I think I'm telling is never the actual story. It's like what reveals itself to me is the more interesting, more nuanced, more complicated, and ultimately more universal thing. And that lesson to me is just continually interesting. It's like I feel like it can apply to so many different facets of life. You know?
Yeah, you definitely have to have a deeper meaning for why you're, it's like there's got to be more beyond work, right?
Right.
So if you're going to put so much time and effort into your work, there's got to be more to it than just a film festival or a premiere on a streaming platform, or you have an opening weekend.
Absolutely.
Because this is over.
Because if you're putting all your eggs in that basket, yes, that basket is very fleeting.
Yeah.
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 So where are you at thinking about like kind of the state of our industry, with things like AI encroaching and, people watching things on their phones more and more often and not going to the movie theater as much? Like, how are you thinking about what we do?
Well, we can't predict what's going to happen. And our industry has gone through, VHS, DVD, streaming. Now we're at this weird influx where you have these streaming platforms that, they had so much they're buying and now they're buying very less, little. And,
Right.
and you can't predict it. I'm not even going to try. What I do hold on to hope for is that in documentaries, AI is going to have impact, but nowhere near that it can have impact in scripted, because we are telling real human stories.
Right.
Real stories. And that actually will become more valuable. It's only going to increase in value the more that artificial and social media and just stuff that is just fleeting and fake.
Right.
People want, I think that's why documentaries have become so amazing lately, that people love them, is because that's the whole time, the only reason you're engaged is because it actually happened.
Right. It's a real person.
If all of a sudden in the middle of it, someone's like, this whole thing's fake, you'd be like, well, I'm gonna stop watching.
Right.
It's the only thing keeping you going. I mean, some documentaries are like a movie, but now they're all trying to look like a movie, and it's just kind of, everybody copied The Imposter, and it's like, whatever, like you can only do that so many times, but real stories, that's what hooks you. So I'm actually very encouraged by that.
Right.
And I'm not worried about the rest, because it's just a waste of brain space to even try and predict what's going to happen next.
That's a good outlook. I like that. Can I tell you my imposter story? I don't know, because you and I have known each other for a while, but I don't think you know this about me.
No.
After Winnebago Man, actually, like while I was finishing it, hadn't even come out yet, Barrett, my business partner, reads the New Yorker article about Frederick Bourdin, the French con man that is the subject of The Imposter. And his main con is that he convinced a family in San Antonio that he was their long lost, missing Texas son. And this is a scrawny, dark-eyed, dark-haired Frenchman, right? And he pulls off this con for about, I think it was like 3 to 6 months. Like, cons a family into believing they had found their missing son in San Antonio, Texas, right down the road from us here in Austin. So Barrett reads this article and is like, we got to tell this story. And so we reach out to Frederick Bourdin, and it just so happened that we had a friend living in Paris at the time. And we get on the phone with Bourdin and we tell him, hey, this is like, we're documentary filmmakers. We want to tell this story. This is amazing. We want to buy your life rights. And he says, absolutely. Like, I want to tell my story one more time. And
oh my God.
I want to make sure that it's like well done and it's official. And I think we even maybe sent him Winnebago Man or something. And he's like, okay, I'll do it with you guys. And I need $5,000 for my life rights. And so I think we're literally right out of grad school at this point.
Is he conning you?
Well, so we get, we're broke indie filmmakers, but we're like, this is a con man. This could be a con, but what are we okay with losing if we gamble on this? Because this is an amazing opportunity. And we decide $5,000 is like a good threshold. And we'll give him $3,000 of it up front. And then when we start filming, we'll give him the other 2.
Yeah, smart.
And he's like, okay, deal. So we wire $3,000 to our friend who's living in Paris. He goes and meets him at this cafe, and we debated, like, should we film it? Should we have somebody there, like, filming it clandestinely? But we were thinking, like, well, we're gonna go, like, make a film about this guy for...
Why spook him too?
Yeah, like, we don't want this to go south. Like, we're just getting to know him.
Yeah.
Like, that could be bad. So we decided not to film it. But our friend has this hilarious, weird interaction with him, but he signs our agreement, and we get it in FedEx the next day, and it worked. So we're like high-fiving, like, oh my God, this is amazing. Like, getting our agents on the phone, like, we're doing this story. And a couple weeks go by or whatever, and we call him and we're like, okay, so we're gonna come to France, and we want to film with you on these dates. And he's sort of like looking at the calendar, and he goes, oh yeah, another film company's here at that time, and so those won't work for me. What other dates you got? And we're like, another film company? And he's like, yeah, there's lots of people making movies about me right now. And we're like, no, you signed our exclusive life rights agreement, like, we're the only ones. And he goes, oh no, I've sold my rights to lots of other companies, and if you don't like it, then forget it. And we were like, no, that's not how this works. And he basically, like, hung up. And our lawyer was like, well, you have, like, 2 options. You can either sue him in, like, French court, or you can basically go and make the movie. And so we reach out to there's a book written about him in French.
Did you reach out to Raw, the company?
Well, we didn't know about them at the time. So I read this book, I find out all the other people involved, I start reaching out to them, and they all tell me that they have signed life rights agreements with this company, Raw Television. And Raw had done all of this other, like, true crime reality show work, basically. And they were savvy enough to lock all of the other characters into an exclusivity agreement. So we learned really quickly we could still make a doc about being conned by the con man, but we couldn't talk to any of the people around him.
Oh my God.
And so right as all of this is happening, we get a postcard in the mail from France. And on the front of it is a woman's torso in a bikini with a picture of, like, the French Riviera behind it. And over the face is a cat, like, photoshopped face of a cat. And you flip it over in, like, broken English, it says, Les imbéciles, imbeciles. I'm spending your money on the French Riviera. Hope to see you soon, Frederic Bourdin. So we get this postcard sent to our office.
This is an incredible story.
And so we take that postcard, and my agent starts setting up meetings. The first one was with Rough House, and Baron.
Wait, so you're still gonna make it?
Well, at this point, we're still making it.
Even though he sent you that postcard?
Well, the postcard convinced us, and we were like, oh, let's go get this guy.
Oh, go.
Like,
okay.
He's taunting
Put the fire
us.
under you, yeah.
He's taunting us now. Like, we were basically like, I don't know if this is a good idea. But then when we got that, it was like, oh, now we have to go make this. So we go to Rough House, which Barrett, my business partner, grew up with David Gordon Green. They're childhood friends. So we tell them this whole story, and we, at the end, throw this postcard down on the coffee table, and they're like, let's go get this guy.
This is like a pitch, and then you show them the card.
Yes, and they're like,
that's a great
oh
pitch.
My
wow.
God,
Oh
this
my
is
God.
amazing. So we drew up this whole idea of, like, a choose your own adventure. Like, we're gonna go knock on his door, camera rolling. If this happens, then this. But if this happens, then we do this. And it was this whole kind of like cat and mouse. We're gonna con the con man into being in our documentary, essentially.
I love this.
And
I'd watch it.
well, and that was the feedback we were getting, right? And then we start getting cease and desist letters
From Raw?
saying, you can't make this. We are making this. Don't, like, contractually
Just
impossible.
the plot just thickens.
We
Just
even-
the legal side of that
we
would be so.
even pitch at Hot Docs, and Nick Fraser from BBC Storyville
Yeah.
is like our sponsor. So all of a sudden, all this like co-financing money is happening. But then when the Raw TV thing comes about and everybody realizes that, they had like A&E funding. Anyways, it was just all a mess. And like all the financiers were like, oh, if there's competing projects, we can't get involved.
Wait, so how long were you working on this?
This drug on over the course of probably a year, right?
Dude.
And so I'm getting pulled onto other projects, and essentially what I wish we would have done would have been to just like damn the torpedoes and fly to France, me and Barrett with a camera, and just started rolling.
Yeah.
That's what we should have done.
Did you film you getting the mail or any of that stuff?
A
The
little
postcard?
bit. A little bit, yeah. Like in the moment, but it wasn't like enough, like we weren't showing that as like a sizzle or something, but like we had bits of that.
So what's the lesson learned from that? Probably nothing. I mean, that's just a wild...
Well, it was
you had the great idea.
It was this crazy story that like, I think the lesson is like we should have jumped and made it, because what ended up happening would have been the greatest ending to a documentary like that, where we got conned by the con man and went to go tell this story. Because ultimately what I realized we were doing was we were becoming con men in trying to tell his story. We were trying to con him into being in our movie.
So meta.
Right? And what we discover later, so years later, years down the road, okay? So like we haven't made the movie, The Imposter comes out. The Imposter's a sensation. Everybody loves it.
That was hard to watch.
It was hard. It was also very well done.
Yeah, I mean, it's amazing.
Like
yeah.
if it had been a terrible documentary, it would have been much worse.
True,
but it's
true.
very good. And so there was an element of like, well, at least they did it.
They did it right, yeah.
So, that comes out. It's sort of like the one that got away. We really should have done that. And years after the fact, I am sitting, out at dinner with this friend of ours who we had wired the money to in Paris. And he had had a couple drinks at this point, and he goes, do you know the story about that postcard? And I was like, what are you talking about? And he goes,
shut up.
I wrote that postcard. And I did what you're doing. I went, what are you talking about, Taylor? What do you mean? And he goes, I wanted you guys to make that movie so bad, and I thought that it would spur you to go make it. And so I wrote that postcard.
Wait, did he do it to spur you or to stop you?
He, in his telling, he did it to spur us to make the movie.
There's too many con people in this one, dude.
But how great would that have been if we were conning the con man into being in our movie, right? We were becoming the bad guys, essentially, in order to tell the story. And then the reveal at the end would have been our friend actually
Dude, this
is the one who like
this is amazing.
double-crossed us.
Well, at least what you should do is cut out this part of our doc talk and make it its own, because this, I'm not kidding, this is a treat. This is one, right? The imposter, like just something with con, the imposter, just come up with something great. That is, I'll listen to that one. That'll be your number one. No, I'm serious. Cut it. Now you got multiple episodes out of our one walk.
Oh my goodness.
I'm not kidding. That is an incredible story.
Isn't that wild? Yeah, so anytime somebody brings up the imposter, I'm like, oh, I got a good story for you. Here, let's go this way.
I can't even believe that.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, in retrospect, it's like, of course, the con man conned us. Like, we should have.
Yeah, but that guy sending the postcard.
I know. It would have been such a great ending. And I don't know the lesson there. I mean, I guess on the one hand, like, the lesson could have been, like, we should have just run full speed ahead and not have tried to, because there was so much selling. I guess maybe that's the lesson. We were really wanting to raise money to do it. And if we had just gone and spent a little bit of our own to create just maybe that first trip, we probably would have been able to raise the rest and make the movie. But I was just coming off Winnebago, man. I'd spent all my own money. I was so in debt that like the idea of doing that again just felt really reckless.
Where is he now?
Who?
The imposter.
I don't know. It's a
Is
great
he
question.
out?
Like out? Is he like in the world, you mean?
Yeah, because I know he was like in a facility. Is he released?
Oh.
Is he out?
Oh, is that how that movie ends? Is he in jail?
Remember he's doing like the Michael Jackson, like, and I think he's in a facility.
Well, when we were talking to him, he was married and he had a kid, and that's why he was
Were
saying.
you talking to the right guy?
Yeah.
You were?
Yeah.
That's the guy?
I'm sure it was-
I mean, at
I'm
this point,
positive-
I don't know, man.
I'm positive it was Frederic Bourdin. Yes. I mean, as positive as I can be over a Zoom call, 15 years ago or whatever that was. But
Maybe it's not over.
ooh, maybe we could tell the imposter part 2.
This is so trippy. I love this.
Yeah, it's a wild story. I mean, I've got a few of those. I've got, a drawer full of ideas that I tried to make that didn't work out. You must have a similar collection of stories that got away.
I mean, nothing that compares to that. Mine have been like, instead of doing it, going to the talent, I went to another company to go to the talent, and they just took my idea.
Oh.
That happened twice, and they're on Netflix.
Oh no.
But so that's like now I just don't tell people my ideas. I'm like,
yeah, I was gonna say,
trust no one.
What? Yeah, what is the lesson there? Just to go straight to the
People in Hollywood are so slimy, man. That's
well,
the
some people. Are.
I mean, there's a lot of them. But yeah, I mean, you're not, I'm not, but you get what I'm saying. Like a lot of people, you don't really know them well.
Right.
Absolutely don't trust them.
Yeah. Did you ever read that book, What Makes Sammy Run,
No.
by Bud Schulenberg? He wrote the screenplay for On the Waterfront. And What Makes Sammy Run is about a writer in Hollywood who meets this character, Sammy Glick. And Sammy Glick is the stereotypical Hollywood sleazeball producer who is unbelievably successful by stabbing all these people in the back and double crossing.
You recommend it?
Oh, the book's amazing. It's really incredible. It helped me sort of understand that personality.
And it's fiction?
Yeah, it's fiction.
Is it based on a real person or just real events?
He says it's based on all his interactions in Hollywood. That it's not any one person.
Yeah, hearing other people's story of misery, it's like that loves company. It's great, it makes you realize like your imposter story just like takes the cake. That's just unbelievable. But it's also great. I don't know. It's one that's like, wow, it's gonna make a good podcast. I'm telling you, just put that one up.
What we did, I'm going to.
Yeah, there we are.
With you.
Yeah.
This is your podcast.
I turned the camera around on you for half time. I was like, this is way too good. Holy crap, man. That's
Well,
amazing.
Well, we're coming up to the end of our walk, and we like to do a lightning round of questions at the end. So,
Oh, okay.
what was your gateway drug film that made you want to become a filmmaker?
See, I'm really bad at lightning round stuff, and the fact that I don't even have one.
Do you not? You didn't see like
Okay, here's
E.T.
what's
when
funny?
you were a kid,
The
or-
first thing I remember. How about this? I don't know the first thing that got me into filmmaking. I genuinely don't. I know that's not a great answer, but it's true. But I remember the first DVD I rented,
Ooh, okay.
and it's comical.
Well, tell me. This is gonna be good.
EDTV. Matthew McConaughey. It was so terrible.
Yeah, but but now you live in Austin.
Yeah.
So does Matthew McConaughey. Maybe there's a connection there.
I don't. The filmmaker thing didn't come about until later in life. I wanted to be like a baseball player, so.
Oh, really? Was that your thing as a kid?
Yeah. So
Oh.
I'd seen so many movies, Karate Kid. I had dreamed being the Karate Kid. I dreamed being, in Angels in the Outfield or whatever. Those are my.
Yeah.